is there a chance Miami could still win the ACC?
Mathematically, yes. Actually, probably not. But, I mean, you got to beat Pittsburgh. So we're at 0-2 in the league. Virginia Tech only has one loss in the league, so they're a game up on us. Virginia has the tiebreaker with 2 losses in the league. Carolina's done in the league now at 3-3, and obviously with the tiebreaker. And Pittsburgh doesn't have any losses in the league. So if you win out, hold on, let me look at the schedule just to be sure. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if we win out and go 6-2 in the league, that would.
Then you need Pitt to lose one other game.
Then you need Pitt to lose.
Virginia to lose one other game.
Right. Yeah. Right. You need both of those things. So you could tie with Pitt at 6-2, but if you beat them, then you have the tiebreaker, and then you need Virginia to lose another league game, obviously, because they hold the tiebreaker because they came in here and beat us. And is that possible? Let's see what their remaining schedule is like. They play Pitt. Well, but then, and they play Virginia Tech. And so, I mean, yeah, you need them to lose one more so you don't have the tiebreaker thing. And I don't think that we would win in a 3-way scenario, but I don't have the 3-way scenario in front of me. So to Anthony's question, mathematically, there is a chance. I don't know how realistic that chance is because it's really predicated on either 5-1 or 6-0 down the stretch from here on out. And the 1 cannot be to Pittsburgh, basically. And you need Pittsburgh and Virginia at least to lose one more game. So there's lots of moving pieces with it. I hadn't even thought of that just because I'm kind of checked out on this. I mean, I'm going to be here and I'm going to, create content through it and watch team and cheer and all those things. But insofar as actually evaluating that, I've kind of checked out on that. But that is a good question, and it is technically possible. It will just take a lot of change from what we've seen from pretty much every team in the ACC Coastal, at least, to have Miami in a position to get to the ACC championship game. And that's not even talking about facing up against whoever's going to come out from the Atlantic side of the division.
Yeah, anytime you look at a question like that, there's the math that we just broke down. And then there's also the assessment of how well is the team playing and how well are its competition playing to date. And right now, the thing is that from a talent perspective, sure, even with the injuries involved, the ACC fascinates me because almost anyone can play almost anyone, and who knows what the score is going to be and who's going to win the game. It's that there is not much of a hierarchy this season in the conference compared to the other conferences. And it's just a free-for-all right now. Now, Wake Forest is 6-0 right now. Could they make the college football playoff? Well, absolutely, they could make the college football playoff. But they've got a lot of work to do, and nobody's thinking of that because they've got to go through their 6 most difficult opponents versus the 6 they've already played. So it's not even worth talking about yet, but is it mathematically possible? Yes. So in the same way, Miami, the path is fairly narrow, but it's not astronomically narrow because 6-2, again, just needing a Pitt loss and again, a Virginia loss because that would create a tie if they were able to win. But those are not great football teams. They could certainly lose games. Just one other game in addition to losing to Miami if you're Pitt, and then that creates the path for Miami. But we're looking at a team that's lost, I believe the number now is 7 consecutive games against Power 5 opponents. And usually teams through 6 or 7 games have shown us who they are. And to just expect a switch like that on a dime to become some other team is not, it rarely happens. All right.
It's 6. Sorry, I was just looking. It's 6 Power 5 teams in a row. But it's been almost a calendar year. It's been, I just say it was the last 2 of last year and then the first 4 of this year. But
okay,
it's been 300 and coming up on like 20 something days since we beat a Power 5 team since the Duke game December 5th last year. So, I mean, not great, but yeah.
0-6. Okay.
Yeah.
Mohammed, thank you so much for your contribution. Appreciate that. Remember when I said this team reminded me of the 2019 team and you disagreed, Cam? Do you agree now? Manny and Blake will be back next season. Watch.
I mean, yeah, like, yeah, I was proven wrong and you were proven right. Like, you mean, there's not much more I can say about it. Yeah, for a couple of years went with the 8-4 or 7-5 and prove me wrong kind of thing, and this is a season that has been a target season for 10 plus regular season wins and an ACC championship game win for a few years. Obviously discounting the Alabama at the top. This has been a target season for 5 seasons since that game was scheduled. 5 going on 6 years. Well, no, sorry, 5 full years, and this is the 6th year since the game was scheduled against Alabama. Yet and still been pointing to this as a season. Like a season, you know what I mean? And you got to be in or got to be out. And I really thought, hey, like this, it's just set up in such a way that if this is going to happen, this is going to be the year. You know what I mean? And I was wrong. I'm already way wrong. They've already lost twice as many games as I thought they were going to lose the entire year to this point, and we're not even out of October yet. You know what I mean? Like I'm like, yeah, I was in for a dime, in for a dollar. Sorry as I moved my camera there, but I was in, and it didn't come up to that way. And I didn't see the performance regression from everybody that we've seen basically. And the refusal to play better players still, I didn't see that. And, if you go back and watch, what I use as the logical foundation for what I said, pretty much all of that has been exactly counter opposite to what my thought was preseason. So unfortunately for me, I do have to agree now. And, fortunate for you, yeah, you said it, you called it, you were right, Mohammed. I was wrong on that. I don't know what else to say, buddy, but yeah. And to your point about Manny and Blake being back next season, Blake James is going to be back. He's not getting fired by the university. I don't think the athletic director, I don't think his job is in jeopardy, though I believe it should be. Also, if you're going to fire Manny Diaz, I think that these next 2 weeks are going to tell that story. You have a close loss to Carolina. And that one was one where I was thinking, so I wrote this before the bye and said, if you have 2 of these 3 that are lopsided losses, Carolina, Carolina State, and Pitt, 2 of those 3 being, big score margins, he's out of here by November 1st. He doesn't make it to Halloween, it's over. But if you find a way to continue to be close, all of that's going to save his job. And whether it's financially motivated, whether it's the fact that they didn't do what needed to be done already, and now you're scared to jump into a coaching market that already has some big name school, because LSU beat Florida, a ranked team, and then said, nah, we're done with the Orgeron. Cool. They're in the market. SC is in the market. You might have a couple other positions and schools and jobs and everything, and you don't want to hop in there and muddy that up and compete against others for who you might want. I think that might inform the decision more than the merits of the play on the field. But to that last point, I'm not rooting for Miami to lose, but if they do lose these next 2, there's no foundation. There's no reasonable, logical foundation for Manny Diaz to keep his job. That being said, unless the score lines are big, as in, that, remember last year, 62-26 to North Carolina? Yeah, why? Because they blew us the hell out and everybody remembers that score. Unless you have something that's like that, or 2 of those in these next 2 weeks, I think that I would have to agree that he'll be back next year, and I don't like it.